Welcome back to another episode of yours Druelee. It is I, your host, Druelee, of course. I hope you guys enjoyed the last episode. Like I mentioned, I will do individual episodes of the topics. That way you guys are not hanging on the cliff for the juicy details. Plus, I know some of y'all are low-key loving the tea on specific topics. So as always, stay tuned. Also, before I begin today's episode, if you happen to hear jingle bells ringing all the way in the background, it's my two lovely cats. They are trying to get my attention and are sitting next to me as I am recording this episode. So don't mind them as they want to be part of my podcast. That's why they're making those sounds. So without further ado, now let's get into the topic, shall we? As you can tell by the title of the episode, I will be sharing my reasons for why I've decided that enough is enough and it was time for me to leave my marriage. Before I begin, I just want to remind you guys that as I share these reasons with you, I am reliving those events and my emotions will trigger me. Don't mind me at all, as I am allowing myself to feel those emotions. I mean no harm or have any harsh feelings towards people I've mentioned, as they don't exist in my life anymore, so I can care less. However, for all of you listening, please take my experiences as a life lesson. So let's get with the first reason. The first reason as to why I've decided that I could no longer continue living in this marriage life was the disrespect. There were many things that have happened to me that caused me to feel like I wasn't respected as a wife, a daughter-in-law, and as a person in general. The first and foremost that I felt like I had most of the disrespect, well, two of the things that I felt like I had the disrespect from was basically from the in-laws. So before I begin telling these reasons, let me create a character name for them, okay? So throughout the episodes that I will be posting and me telling my stories about my relationship with the ex and the in-laws, let's refer the ex as Lost Boy. We'll call his stepmom Lost Mom, of course, and his dad, Lost Dad. And the reason why I am referring them to lost, quote unquote, is because, especially for the ex, Lost Boy, if you can refer the song Lost Boy, where it talks about Peter Pan being a boy, always wanted to be a boy and never wanting to grow up. And I felt like Lost Boy was like that. The ex was like that. He was stuck in his, I don't know, his younger ways, or you could say that he hasn't matured or grown, even though his age have grown, but his mental mind hasn't. And I also felt like he needed his parents there for a lot of things. And that was one of the reasons why it caused a strain in our relationship. So for all of you guys to, know and, for me to just get that out of the way, we'll just, instead of just refer them to like the ex or, the in-laws or whatever, we'll just, that will be the character names for now, okay? With that, going back to the in-laws, Lost Mom and Lost Dad, I felt like they couldn't treat me with respect of being their son's wife. And I felt like there was no boundaries when it comes to that. Because at the end of the day, even though we were married culturally, they passively act as if, I was just another person there. And they felt like they could do whatever the fuck they want to do. Just because that's their son. And because I'm married to their son, they felt like they could just do whatever the fuck they want to do. So a couple of things that has happened pertaining to the Lost in-laws is that when me and Lost Boy first got married and we moved into our new apartment, I think at that time we were working second shift, and it was over the weekend. We slept in, and me as a light sleeper, heard I think I've heard his phone ringing, and I guess his dad called him multiple times, and then I heard our doorbell ringing, and so by that it surprised me, and I woke up Lost Boy, and then I just went to the bathroom just to use the bathroom, and also in case if his dad was going up the stairs into our apartment, I just wanted to freshen up, because like I said, we just woke up. Okay, we were sleeping during that time and we just woke up. So while I was in the bathroom, freshening up, doing whatever I need to do, as I got out of the bathroom, Lost Boy wasn't there. Checked the room, checked the entire apartment, he wasn't there. I had to call him a couple of times for him to pick up. And so when I called him, he didn't pick up at all. I think he picked up one time and he said that he'll call me back, because I was wondering where he was at. I'm like, you know that your dad rang the doorbell or like he called you. Are you with them? And he told me that he'll call me back. I'm like, okay. A couple of minutes later, he called me and he told me that his parents and him were at Home Depot because apparently their grandma's fridge was broken, and so they needed to buy a new one. So when you buy a new furniture or furnace, you need your credit score in order to get approved. So at that point, I didn't know what the fuck was going on, and he told me that they needed me to co-sign on the fridge, that way they can get a new fridge for grandma. And my thinking was that maybe I'm in the wrong in this, I don't know, but at that time I felt like that's kind of wrong for them to do that, because first of all, why are you using your son's credit to get a fridge? Couldn't both of you guys use your own credit to get a new fridge? That I did not understand. But at that time, Lost Boy told me that his parents picked him up. Three of them went to Home Depot and they bought a new fridge for their grandma. And they used his credit score to co-sign the fridge. And so my thing was that, but why didn't you let me know? Why didn't you tell me that you were going with them? And so with that, I felt like that was like a disrespect right there. Because my thinking was that, you're married to me. You're supposed to communicate with me with what you're doing. Especially when it comes to finances. That's the important thing when it comes to relationship and marriage. So why would you go behind my back and not tell me that you're going with your parents? Because for me, I would have said, hell the fuck no, you ain't gonna go with them. Why the fuck are you using your credit score to buy them things? Like, don't you even have consideration of me or us? So with that, I don't know, I just let that slide. But when all of that happened, I had the feeling that this isn't right. Like, why would his parents ask him to come with them when they can just go by themselves? It's obvious that they were just using him and using his credit scores just to buy the fridge. And I get that it's for their grandma, okay. But at the same time, it's kind of like, why would you use your only son's credit to fuck it up, or just to use it just for the heck of it? That didn't make sense. So that's the first thing that kind of made me feel that, okay, like, you shouldn't even disrespect me or my husband, and also the fact that why would you go behind my back and not tell me that you're gonna leave? That was kind of fishy right there. The second thing that made me feel like I was disrespected from Lost in-laws is that they were talking about buying a boat, and that was one of the reason why I kind of did wanted to leave him in the first place. But for some reason, I was so stupid to stick around. But anyways, back to the story. His parents or his dad wanted to buy a boat. Now, my thing was a boat for what? Why are you needing a boat? Why? It's because your brother has a boat, Lost Boy's uncle has a boat, or everybody that they know has a boat, and he wants one for his own pleasure. Like, it didn't make sense. So why are you involved? Why was Lost Boy involved with buying the new boat? And Lost Boy told me that his parents wanted him to co-sign or to buy the boat using his credit score. Now, at that time, we were living in our apartment. Let's go back. At that time, we moved out of our apartment and we lived with the in-laws for 2 months. And we moved in. We moved out and then we moved in with his grandma. That is another story, another episode that I will share with you guys later on, so stick around. But going back to the story, at that time we were living with Lost Boy's grandma. And we were thinking about buying a house. And apparently his aunt has a real estate license and she was able to help us with that. And so I told him that, well, if you buy the boat, you do know that it's going to fuck up your credit, right? It's going to fuck up your credit score, and that's going to be an issue, and that will be the reason why your credit score is low. Ladies, listen to me. You have to listen to your intuition, because the moment when I told him about that, when I told him that no, do not buy the boat, because if you buy the boat and you put that under your name, your credit score will be low. When we actually went through the process of buying the house, he couldn't qualify. Guess what? Why he couldn't qualify? It was because of the boat. Because we even asked I guess she was like a loan officer or something like that. And I asked her, like, was there a reason why he couldn't qualify? It's because 1, his credit score is low, and 2, because of the boat. And I told him, I told you, and you wouldn't even want to listen to me. And so with that, so even before all that happened, I already told him that, no, you cannot buy the boat because your parents are just using you for your credit score. They're just trying to ruin your credit score. And so him being an obedient son, I guess one day I was just downstairs in my bedroom. My sister texted me saying that, hey, Drew, did your in-law buy a new boat? And I text back, a boat? What new boat? Lost mom posted a picture saying that, oh, they bought a new boat or whatever. And I got mad because I'm like, first of all, he's not home. He's out and about doing something, I don't know. And I'm mad because the thing is that, we have this conversation already. And I told you that, no, you cannot allow your parents to buy this boat using your credit score. And for you to disrespect me as your wife, to go behind my back and do that was a huge disrespect right there. And so he came home, we had an argument, and then at that time his grandma was there too, and me being an obedient dumbass, at the same time I was yelling at him, and then his grandma decided to jump in and take his side like always. Typical Hmong elders, I guess. They rather side with their sons or the men in the family or whatever. And so she basically was saying that that's his only father and that he should be able to buy his dad things. But my thing was that I couldn't talk back. I wish I could have, but at that time I respected his grandma a lot too, and so I didn't say anything back. But if I had the chance to go back and say something, I will fucking say something. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This is my husband. This is our problem. You have no right to jump in and put in your input. But aside from that, once we got done arguing and all that stuff, I told him that, what, I don't want to be with you anymore, and that we should just, go our separate ways. Let me find an apartment. Let me find a place to stay first, and then we'll announce it to your family that, we want a divorce. And so he got super sad about it, and like overall, like the matter of fact is that how could you allow your parents to manipulate you into doing something that you know damn well that we have this conversation and that it's a no? But then I don't know. It was just so fucking confusing. I was so mad at him, at his parents. And we don't even like after they bought the boat, I didn't even have a conversation with his parents about the boat or anything like that. I mean, yeah, we did take it out on the river or the lake or whatever, and have fun here and there. But I even told him that your parents are not responsible. They're not going to pay the payments on time. And guess what? They didn't pay the payments on time. See, it's kind of like, motherfucker, I already know this shit already. Why don't you fucking listen to your own fucking wife? Seriously? How many times I had to fucking tell you this? That's why I'm so mad, you guys, because it's all the disrespect, it's I'm not just saying just to say things, I'm saying because I know myself, and something's telling me that something's not right. And the moment when all of these happen, and then I'll be like, you know what? I told you so. Why didn't you fucking listen to me? You couldn't even buy the house because your parents fucked up your credit score. And I told you from the beginning. And also the fact that, your parents disrespect me because they're just passively doing it behind curtains, but I know that they have no respect for me and no respect for him. But he didn't fucking see that. Another thing that I felt that I was disrespected from his parents is that a lady that went to church with us in California, I guess she came down with her husband to sell life insurance, whatever. At that time, his dad had I guess heart issues, whatever, that he had some illness, and so they wanted us to, I guess, buy life insurance for him in case he passed away within 2 years or so, I guess. So right after they left, because we were at his parents' house at that time. So once that lady and her husband left, we were just sitting there. At that time, I didn't even know that we were gonna have a so-called family meeting there. But I don't know where Lost Mom told me that. She told me that I heard from Grandma that okay. So what had happened was that the grandma was over at his parents' house talking about the wedding arrangements or whatever, because his younger brother was, I guess, supposed to be getting married to his girlfriend, and so they just wanted to talk about the wedding and all that stuff. And then somehow Grandma brought up something that I said to her, and I remember I said to Grandma that I can tell that my in-laws don't love me as much. And I'm not gonna fucking sugarcoat it because it's the truth. They don't, but they're just faking it. So I guess the grandma told the in-laws about that, and so Lost Mom, being a sneaky ass bitch of a person she is, and she's the type of woman that likes drama, and so I don't know where she just mentioned that, and she told me that I heard from Grandma that you felt like we don't love you, but we just want to let you know that we love you and your husband and all of our kids and any of our future I guess in-laws or daughter-in-law, son-in-law as equal. And I was like, I was surprised. I was like, what? I was like, who told you all that stuff? And then she told me that, oh, it was Grandma. Grandma told us that you felt like we don't love you, but then we love you. We love you and the future daughter-in-laws as an equal. And at that point, for me, I felt like she purposely said that because at that time, his younger brother, last 4 younger brothers, and his fiance, I guess, was there, and then the other brothers were there as well too. And it just kind of surprised me a bit, but at the same time, I felt like she just purposely said that because she wanted to start drama between me and the other soon-to-be daughter-in-law. And y'all, I'm not about that competing ass fucking ass life, okay? Just a side note, for all of those sister-in-laws that are trying to compete with each other, don't even be in this fucking competition. For what? Compete for what? To be the number one daughter-in-law? Shut the fuck up and just sit your ass down, okay? Nobody got time to compete with nobody. The only competition that you have is within yourself, okay? End of that. So back to the story. Lost mom said that because I intuitively felt that she wanted me and the future daughter-in-law to gain up on each other. And so I got upset, and the fact that Lost Boy was just sitting there, he couldn't even defend me. He couldn't like tell his mom, do not say that in front of my wife, or pretty much like protect me, you know? He couldn't even do that. And so I got up, and then I just went to his grandma's house and confronted her about that. And she told me that, yeah, I did say that, you know, but then they were asking me how you felt about everything or whatever. I cannot trust his family. Too much drama, too much gossiping, too much competing. Like, I don't got time for this shit. I really fucking don't. And so from there, you know, I just felt like, you know, why the fuck would they want to say shit like that to me? Like, they could have said it in a different way. However, I know deep down, Lost Mom is the type of, like I say, it's a type of woman that loves drama. And if she finds anything that will trigger you, she will fucking say whatever the fuck she want to say. But little does she know that, you know, me being divorced, you know, I could say a whole lot of shit about her too. She ain't shit. She thinks she is, but she's not. So I'm gonna keep it short like that. Let's leave the rest of it to another episode, okay? But aside from that, Lost Mom was just disrespectful. Same with Lost Dad as well too. It's like they just don't have no respect for you. Like, they don't fucking care if you're married to their sons. They will disrespect you. They will low-key, passively disrespect you. And the sons are so fucking stupid for not seeing that. Like, why don't you fucking see that your parents don't fucking love you guys? You know, and, you know, I'm going to add this here. Lost Mom, she's only a stepmom. She's not the real mom. She gets really triggered and really upset that a lot of the families and a lot of people say, especially like within the Hmong culture, and like they look down upon step parents, especially stepmom. And, you know, that's, I have to say, that's really sad. But at the same time, she portrays herself like that. And, you know, as much as she tried to tell people that, oh, I'm the mom, I'm the real mom, or I'm the number one mom to the family, bitch, you're number two. Okay, you will never be number one. As you would say this in my native language, so stay that way. So interpreting that, you are the second mom. You're not the first mom. You're just a stepmom. Okay, so you need to stay on that lane. As much as you want to say that, you know, you love your stepkids, whatever, bitch, you lying. People can say the fuck they want to say, but at the end of the day, if they are treating the person differently, then their words don't mean shit. And that's who she is as a person. You can say that you love your stepkids, but at the end of the day, you fucking don't. You can get mad all you want, and you know that whatever grandma is saying, she's correct. And that's how it triggers you like that. Anyways, I'm just rambling on, but I just have to get that off my chest. But aside from that, so like I mentioned, you know, there's so many disrespect coming from the lost in-laws, you know, but those are a couple of things that I felt like were the major things that I felt like I was disrespected from, you know, just being a wife and being a daughter-in-law. So another disrespect that I received from this relationship would have to be from Lost Boy. Tying it back to him buying the boat behind my back, I just felt like he didn't communicate with me about his parents using his credit scores or just his credit just to buy unnecessary things. And, you know, as a wife, that's all I want. For all the guys that's listening, you know, your wife just wants you to communicate with her about these things. Even though it's just a little ass thing, you have to communicate that with her, because if you don't, she's going to use that against you. And also she's going to say that, well, you didn't let me know, so that's on you. If anything happens, I'm not gonna be the one to take part on it, because you did it by yourself. And I just felt like he didn't talk to me about these things. Maybe he was afraid of what I'm gonna say, but at the end of the day, you're married to me, and we're gonna live this life together. So shouldn't I matter? Shouldn't I be the number one person in your life that matters, and then your parents second? He didn't think like that. And like I mentioned, he couldn't protect me from his parents. Like, I get that he's so used to them passively doing things or manipulating him into doing things for their own pleasure or their own favor. And I get that he's used to that. But me as an outsider, I see that, they weren't treating him the best. And for him to not step up as the husband that I needed him to be to protect me from his family, or specifically his parents, that was a disrespect on my part as being the wife. There was this other incident that I remembered, was when me, Lost Boy, his two younger brother, and his dad was in the car. I think we were on our way to go to church or either come home from church. I don't remember, but we were in the car, and his dad told me that because he was driving in the front, and I was behind him, and he told me that your mother-in-law told me that she wanted you to help clean the downstairs bathroom, because there's a bathroom in their downstairs basement, and I guess it's been really dirty. And yeah, I do see that it's been dirty, and it's no excuse, and I should at least help to clean. However, at that time I didn't, because I was too stressed over so many things, and I just didn't want to. Cleaning was the last thing on my list. I was stressed over work, stressed over my relationship, stressed just living in the house. And so his dad told me that she wanted me to clean the downstairs bathroom. And he said that, since you guys are living downstairs, it's your responsibility to clean the bathroom, and it's your responsibility to clean the living room. And my thing was that, and I even told Lost Dad, but couldn't Lost Mom just tell me instead? Like, if she has a problem or she needs help or whatever, can't she just come up to me and tell me the things? I don't need to hear from you. And he said that, well, just do it, because your mom just bitching at me. I don't want her to bitch at me anymore. So could you just at least just, do it for me? That way your mom don't bitch at me. And I sat there, I was like, y'all, I was about to cry. I was about to cry and blow my eyes off, but I just held it in. And Lost Boy was just sitting there and didn't say anything. And I felt so ashamed and so like, I don't know. I just felt like, yeah, basically it's just a shame. And for Lost Dad to say that to me right in front of his two younger brother, and Lost Boy just sitting there and not telling his dad, don't say that don't say that to my wife. But he didn't say, he just sat there, and I just felt like, what the fuck? I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. I was like, if she is the mother of the house, and I'm just an outsider, and I just got married to his family. I don't know what the fuck how this family is run like. So, if she needs things to be done, she needs to let me know. But her being a dumbass, passive ass bitch, she's not gonna say anything, because what I learned about her is that the only time things will be done around the house, and the only time Lost Dad will give a fuck about anything that's happening in the house, is if his ass is being bitched at from his wife. And so, because at the end of the day, Lost Dad don't give a fuck about anything, okay? He's just like that. He just don't give a fuck. And the only reason why he gives a fuck is because he's getting bitched. That's it. My thing was that in my head, I was like, so you're asking me to do all these things, that way you won't get bitched at from your wife. And your wife could even come up to me as a woman to woman, to tell me that, hey, I need you to help me do this or do that or whatever. Or like, hey, this is how we run our household. She didn't say jack shit to me. And at that time, I don't know, fuck it, I'm not gonna clean shit. And also, your kids are the one that's making the mess in the living room downstairs, not me. I have no kids. I'm not gonna pick up after your kids' mess. Hell the fuck no. If you want that to be done, get your fucking lazy ass, fat ass downstairs and clean up the shit. The bathroom, I can possibly clean it because I do use it. But at the time, ever since your husband said that to me, I'm like, fuck it. The day that we left, I didn't even give a fuck to clean this stupid bathroom. Who gives a fuck? I was like, you have a mouth, fucking speak. If you can't speak to me and tell me, and you're afraid that I'm gonna say no because you know damn well I will say it, then what kind of fucking mother are you? What kind of person are you? I'm just saying. So that was one of the example of, lost boy not being able to protect me and not being able to respect me as his wife. Every argument that we had was never resolved. And I just felt like, I am expressing my emotions to you. I'm telling you what is bothering me. And yet you don't respond. You just sit there, don't say anything. And then my thing is that, hello, am I talking to the brick wall? Am I talking to a dog? Or like, what the fuck? Like, I need a response. I guess me just asking him to respond, maybe he has a hard time telling or expressing his emotions or whatever he's feeling, but still, like, I'm very vocal when it comes to my emotions, and for him to just sit there and not say anything, we didn't even talk about any resolution. And every time when I bring up the same thing all over again, he always say, why you always bring up the past? Move, like, you should just move on. But my thing is that you can't just move on from the problem. And the reason why I couldn't move on, because we didn't even come up with a solution to solve it. And for you to just say for me to move on, it's like telling me that, I don't matter, my emotions don't matter, my boundaries don't matter. For that, I felt disrespected. It's like, you don't respect my feelings, my emotions, what I have to say, and you don't respect our relationship in order to fix it. Like, what kind of bullshit is that? I don't know. Like I said, we hardly had any arguments, but I just felt like when we did have those arguments, I just felt like I was going crazy. Like, I kept brushing things off. I felt like, okay, maybe you're just overthinking, Drew. You're just overthinking. You should just, don't think too much. Even though we have all these arguments, at the end of the day, we will solve it, I guess, by just ignoring it, and then we'll be happy again. You guys, I felt like I was going crazy at that time. I felt like, when you go to those crazy psychiatric hospitals where like they like the doctors wrap you up in those white jackets where you can't move your arms. I don't know what you call those, but I felt like I was put in a white box room, with that jacket on and with my hair all like messy and fuzzy, just sitting there cross-legged, moving back and forth, up and down, like telling myself everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. You're not crazy. Like, you guys, every argument, I kept telling myself, this will pass. This will pass. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. Like, I was going crazy in my head. Like, I keep thinking that all the arguments that we have is gonna get resolved, and it's just another argument, and just move on. Woo, that was some like crazy ass time. I was like, never again will I ever feel like that. Ladies or men, if you ever feel like that, you're not crazy. The only crazy person is the person that's telling you to get over it. But really, nothing was being resolved. So those are some of the things that I felt like I was treated disrespectfully from the in-laws and from Lost Boy. There is a ton, but those are the major things that happened in my life that I can think of that made me feel like I wasn't treated respectfully. The second reason, you guys will love this. The second reason as to why I've decided that enough is enough and that I need to move on, let go of this person, this relationship, because it wasn't worth it, it's because he cheated. Now, it may sound kind of confusing because I was confused myself too, but a little snippet of what happened. So he decided, Lost Boy decided to spend the weekend at his parents' house because we had an argument, and I called my dad telling him that I was done. I didn't want to be with him anymore. I'm going to divorce his ass. It was during Mother's Day, and we had an argument, and so he moved out, and I think a week or 2 weeks passed by. He came back home, and then I just didn't feel like nothing was changed. Like, I felt that he was still the same person. He didn't want to make no effort, and I still feel like shit. And again, I will do another separate episode on this and tell you guys in detail as to the steps as to how that came about. But just to keep it short, he did something that triggered me, and I just told him that, you know, I've had it. And that was, I guess that was the day where because I never yell at him that often. I'm more of a calm person, and I just like to keep things to myself. And so at that time, like, he just got me so mad to a point where I just had it with him. I just had it with the disrespect. I just couldn't take it anymore, because it's like, you know, I'm your wife. I'm calling you constantly. You left me, and you didn't even communicate with me as to where you're going, who you're going with, why you're going with. And again, it's just not about controlling, okay? For those who think that it's controlling, you dumb as fuck, okay? No, that's not the point. The point is that for me, I just wanted him to communicate with me as to where he was at. And again, I will tell more details as to what happened, okay? But at that point, I just felt like, you know, fuck this relationship, fuck this person. He doesn't respect me as a wife, then fuck it, I'm done with this relationship. So we went to work. I just felt like shit, because at that time we were working third shift. When he came back home, we had an argument in the car, and I told him that, you know what, I deserve more, and you're gonna take me for granted. And he got mad, and I told him that I'm done with you, I'm done with this, you know, all this disrespect and everything, I'm done. And he got the audacity to be mad, start jamming his wrist in the car console and all that stupid shit. So he wanted to buy himself a pack of cigarettes, so I just got out of the car and just went into the house. And by the time I got to the house, I went to sleep, because again, it was third shift, so I went to sleep around like 7 o'clock or so. And then when I woke up, got ready, and I guess he was cleaning up his stuff or whatever. And then he told me that he was gonna pack all his stuff and leave. And then in that moment, I knew that, okay, this is it. He wants to leave. And so because at that time he came upstairs to tell me that he's not gonna go to work, and that he's going to pack up his stuff. And so I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then when he went downstairs, I had to like think about it for a sec, and then I went back downstairs and I asked him, okay, who's gonna pick you up, and where are you gonna go? He told me that his dad's gonna pick him up, and he's gonna go to his parents' house. I'm like, okay, fine. And then that was the end of the conversation. And so I got ready to go to work, did my shift, came home, and all his stuff was gone. He took whatever stuff that he needed, and whatever he didn't want, he just left it there for me to take care of. Yeah, so from there on, you know, he picked up his stuff, he packed up his stuff, left the house, didn't say anything to me. He didn't even initiate divorce. He didn't even contact my parents. And again, at that time, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, okay? I was like, am I supposed to contact my people? Or is he supposed to contact his people? Or how the fuck are you supposed to get divorced in our culture? And so I did talk to my dad a little bit about it, and he was like, well, if he doesn't want you, then he should have his people call me. I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of confusing, because like I didn't want him, but he left on his own. So it made me feel like, okay, that was it. You know, shouldn't he be the one to reach out to us and say that, oh yeah, I don't want her no more, I don't want my wife no more, you know? I don't know, y'all, it's so confusing. Like I was so confused. But at that time, we didn't officially get divorced. We were still culturally married, okay? 2 weeks later, we got off of work. You know, he drove his own car or whatever. He was able to get to work on his own for some reason, and then I just drove the car that we had at that time. Right as I was heading towards home, there is a park or like a walkway park thingy that's close to work, and I spotted a red Honda car. I think it was a red Honda Civic car.